So so it took like a long time to like for me to really like I guess fully like start posting about it.
Yeah.
Because I was really like shy at first, like what are people gonna say or what are people gonna think, or are people gonna be like, I don't want to go to her because she doesn't have a hand, you know? But now I've learned to just like
you like embrace it.
Really, yeah. That's what we're saying,
the best
like,
type of advice. Fuck it. This podcast is brought to you by Juno Coffee, made right here in the Central Valley of California. Nothing beats fresh brewed coffee, and their fresh brewed coffee is delicious. However, their specialty instant coffee is a great alternative for those who are on the go, whether you're hiking, climbing, parenting, or out there just being rad. I have tried so many instant coffee, you guys, and this instant coffee tastes delicious. It tastes like an actual cup of coffee. I can't describe to you guys that, like, most instant coffee just tastes bad, and this one tastes so good. It tastes like an actual cup of coffee. I even just have it at home. It's so good. So if you guys want to purchase their products, you can go find them at their website, drinkjunocoffee.com. Once again, that's at drinkjunocoffee.com, or follow them on Instagram. It's at drinkjuno. Go check them out. Nick's a cool dude. He runs his whole Drink Juno Coffee, and he's a great dude. Go check him out. Go support him, and thank you, Nick. This podcast is brought to you by Crybaby Wine. Proudly located in Fresno, Crybaby Wine offers you your favorite delicious tasting wines like Chardonnay, Cabernet, and everything in between. Not only do they offer these great tasting wines, but they also offer delicious de-alcoholized CBD wine. Infused with CBD and CBG, these wines help reduce anxiety, alleviate stress, and you can find their products at crybabywine.com. If you live in Fresno County, you'll receive free delivery. Once again, you can check them out at crybabywine.com or follow them on Instagram at crybabywinecalifornia. Thanks again, Crybaby. This podcast is brought to you by Brewing, the official beer of the podcast. Located in Atwater and Ceres, this brewery offers not only delicious tasting beer, but great events that bring the whole community together. So on November 23rd, make sure that your calendar is cleared for Friendsgiving 2022. It will be in Atwater at the Tarmac, and there will be beer, games, live music, cocktails, and much more. They also have a new cider coming out this month, and their Defoggin' is back as well. So check out their stuff on Instagram at Blaker Brewing or at Blaker Tarmac. Once again, it's at Blaker Brewing or at Blaker Tarmac. Thanks again, Blaker. This podcast is brought to you by Wooten Personal Training. You won't find the answer in a cute pair of leggings or in that new protein shake, but you will find it during your time at Wooten Personal Training. Justin empowers clients to identify their wellness goals and adjust their lifestyle to make health a priority and a reality. Justin offers one-on-one personal training as well as a small group training in a studio located in downtown Merced, and he just launched a new membership program. So if you guys have any questions about that, please contact Justin at 209-500-7323. Once again, it's 209-500-7323, or follow him on Instagram at Wooten Personal Training. Once again, that's at Wooten Personal Training. Thanks again, Justin. This podcast is brought to you by Worknet and the Merced County Workforce Development Board. On this podcast, we often talk about how people from the Central Valley made it, either in a career or starting their own business. In Merced County, Worknet provides people with career advice or job information and the training they might need in order to change careers. Worknet services are provided through Merced County, and they are completely free, so it's a no-brainer, you guys. Now, if you guys are interested in taking advantage of this, you guys can check them out at worknetmerced.com. Once again, you guys, if you guys need help starting a new business, switching jobs, anything like that, they offer free help, and that is at worknetmerced.com. Thanks again, Worknet. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Central Valley Podcast. I am the host, Micah D'Ailey, and if you're new around here, this is a show where we highlight the talented individuals who make up the Central Valley of California, as well as people in general who are passionate about what they do. Once again, I remind you guys, please follow me on Instagram at Central Valley Podcast. Go support us on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Type in Central Valley Podcast on YouTube. It'll come up. And everywhere else, you guys, we have any account or anything like that. Please follow us. Please download our episodes. Please like it. Please leave reviews on the podcast. It would really help the show out, and I would truly, truly appreciate it. Now, before we jump into today's podcast with the brow expert Mercy, we're going to have a musical performance, and the musical performance is by Tea Noelle. Tea has actually been a guest on this podcast before, and so I brought her back on for a Central Valley session, and this is her song, I Cry Ugly. Thank you, Tea.
Tea Noelle, Central Valley Podcast. Thanks for having me. I'm very grateful. Yeah. Buck Sexton on the beat, Merced represent. What's up, Stu? Thank you. I cry ugly. I like it when it's warm and rainy. There's no other place like Cali. I can see mountains and ocean if only I wasn't stuck at home in the valley. I keep on waiting for a change. Balance and motion, it's making me insane. Muted emotions to counterweight the heavy train my mind is taking. I can be anywhere else but here. I'm at the station. I can leave town, but I can't escape myself. And when the tears fall, I got no one to blame but myself. Just get through the day, get through the pain and the rage. Get on my own, I'm on my way, my mind can be changed. Find a place my heart can stay. I can say anything, I can be anything. My thoughts are racing, and nothing stays on the page. So many places I've been could have taken me away from wherever I came from. It's only a couple of days. I'm tired of being afraid. Fuck all that being afraid. Yeah. I'm at the station. I could leave town, but I can't escape myself. Yeah. And when the tears fall, I got no one to blame but myself. Ooh, I don't know anywhere else but here. I don't know anywhere else but here. I could be anywhere else but here.
Wasn't that a beautiful song, you guys? That was I truly loved hearing that song while she was recording it. It's a new song by her, so thank you so much, Taya, for coming on the podcast. I truly appreciate it, and we'll definitely have you back on sometime. So please go support her, you guys. Her information's all right here. You can listen to her on Apple Music. You can listen to her on Spotify, and just go support with everything she's got going on. She's always playing around here in the Valley and San Jose and stuff, so please go support her. It'd mean the world. Alrighty, now just jump into today's episode. Today, I'm joined by Mercy. Mercy is a brow expert, and she's a very talented individual. Mercy was born without a hand as well, so she's really came over a lot of adversity in her life, and it was just great to sit down, talk to her, and she's just a strong-minded individual. And she talked about how she wasn't always this way, how she used to be really shy and nervous about it, and how she's grown to, embrace it and be who she is. And this podcast was wonderful. The promo was funny if you guys haven't seen it yet, and I truly enjoyed talking to her. So I'm going to quit talking, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is Mercy. This is it. Real talk and whatnot.
Real talk. That's it. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk.
They're not tied to any religion or anything like that. But so their whole thing is they make CBD products.
Okay, yeah.
So they grow weed and then only CBD. So they make salves, tinctures, and different things like that. But yeah, I don't know. And then I just so I had them on my podcast. I randomly reached out to them, and then I was thinking that they're not going to come on the podcast. And they're like, sure. And then they invited me to like moon ceremonies and stuff. Everything's like by spiritual. I would say kind of like I don't know, like girls like horoscopes and stuff. I would say
it's kind of the same similar. Huh?
Yeah, to me maybe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Are you into horoscopes and stuff?
I am.
Yeah. I mean, you check the box. You know, you're a girl.
No, it's so interesting that I like with that. I sometimes if they tell me their sign, I'm like, oh.
Okay,
like my whole demeanor changes.
What about Duffy? Give her your sign. What's your sign?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
What is
Just
it?
don't.
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, me too. Okay, my rising's Virgo, so yeah, go Virgos.
All right.
I'm an Aries.
Okay,
a lot of people are like, Aries.
No, I can't get along with Geminis.
Dude,
like,
I was
something about Gemini.
I was with my
all
wife.
About themselves.
I was with my wife.
They're all about themselves.
Yeah.
No, they're very like you don't know who you're gonna get.
Do you want a Truly?
I'll get a Truly.
Which one? You go ahead. There's I don't know. There's strawberry lemonade original.
Fine.
Okay, gotcha. There you go. Duffy, do you want a Truly or Blaker beer? There we go. I'll drink the beer of the podcast. But I was hanging out with my wife and all her friends, and like everyone asked everybody their symbols and everything, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm Aries," and then all the girls start talking, and like I'm not really paying attention, and then like 5 minutes later, they're all like, "Yeah, we've never met an Aries we like," and they're going on about how they don't like Aries, and I'm like, I just told them all that I'm an Aries, and I was like, "Hey, you guys remember I just told you I'm an Aries?" They're like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Yeah."
We still hate you.
Exactly. So why don't you introduce yourself for people who may not know who you are?
Yeah. So my name is Mercy. Been in the beauty industry for 12 long years.
12 long years. And what do you do in the beauty industry?
So I'm a makeup artist and brow artist. I call myself a brow expert because it's really like what I like to focus on. But I'm an esthetician, been in it for 12 years. It's been a very long ride. But yeah, very passionate about the beauty industry. And now kind of like, I guess I would consider myself a micro little mini influencer because a lot of my followers just really do like to like engage with me as part of like my marriage and like my gym life and just a little bit of everything. So yeah.
And that's cool. That's cool. And then how did you kind of, or are you from the Central Valley or where are you from?
So I was born and raised in the Central Valley.
Okay.
And then moved to Sacramento.
Okay.
Like right out of right out of high school. And then after that, I moved to Texas. So I was in Texas for 5 years. Yeah.
And is that kind of where you started getting into beauty stuff?
I really feel like that's where my like whole career like really took off. I started working for a Mac. It was just a
okay, gotcha.
company.
Yeah.
And then we were with them for 5 years, and then built my clientele, and then decided that it was just time to come home, be around my family.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's where I ended up here in Merced.
And how long ago was that?
2018.
2018. So you've been here for
4 years.
4 years.
Merced only a year, but back in the valley.
So where were you raised at?
Dos Palos.
Dos Palos.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
2 sticks.
Wait. Yeah, Dos Palos is like one of those towns where it's like you think you're from Merced and you're like, oh, they're super small, but then you go like Dos Palos or like Gustine and like those towns and you're like, oh wow, it's a little smaller out here.
I mean, Dos Palos has like butches. If you've ever been, oh my gosh. But we have like one stoplight and that's
you know what I mean? That's what I meant, like one of those smaller towns. Yeah. Okay, and then so does your family live out in Merced or no?
They live in Dos Palos still.
They live in Dos Palos. So what made you choose Merced?
I actually started in Atwater.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
I was there for like about a year. And
Atwater and Merced are pretty merged
together.
They
really are. And that's where I met the girls I work with. And so then they were kind of like, hey, we're opening a spot here in Merced. And at first I was like skeptical because I was like, I don't know, like that Merced's going to be like a good fit for like what I do. But then looking at their clientele background, I was like, why not? And so I was like, you know what, let me take a leap of faith. And that's when COVID kind of was around and it kind of was like
like 2019, 2020?
2020, right? 2020, yeah. Okay. And so I feel like COVID for me was like a blessing in disguise because that's when I met them. And I kind of just came along with them and it just like literally blew up. Like it was amazing.
That's cool. And where's your where's the shop at?
It's called Pinky's Beauty Lounge and it's on M Street.
On M Street? Okay, gotcha.
Right after the railroad tracks.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And then how many girls or what, do they all do the same thing as you?
There are 2 nail techs and then myself.
Okay, so you kind of do your own.
My
you do
own thing. We all have like our
makeup and eyebrows.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And, I feel like you're saying, and then do you eyelashes too? Is that part of it? No. Okay, so that's its own thing then.
Yeah, that's its own thing. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. For me personally, I feel like if you do a lot, you don't like focus on what you're doing. So you get kind of lost into like what you're doing. So I feel like since I was really good at what I did, like brows and makeup, I was like, you know what, let me just stick to these 2 and then eventually, like maybe in the future, I'll venture out.
And so then you moved to, and what did you do in Texas? What were you doing in Texas?
The same thing. Honestly,
But I
it
mean,
was
like you, how did you
right,
end up
like
in
how did I
Texas?
end up there?
Yeah.
It was honestly, I was 21. I needed like a new like whole atmosphere change. Like I just want to try something new. I want to get out the valley. And so my cousin was like, well, come to Texas. So I moved with him. Like literally just
On
took
a
my
whim?
old little Volkswagen Jeep and packed my bags and left.
Really?
Yeah. And
Dang.
I went and I applied at Mac, and Mac was like, hey, like, you want this job now? And I'm like, really? Like, it just fell all in my lap. And like, at first I was like, why did I do this? But then it like made sense. Like, I ended up catching a good job with Mac. I ended up growing with them.
Is that kind of where you learned everything? Like, did you know stuff? I mean, you just knew typical stuff,
I
kind
knew
of?
like the basics, but I definitely learned a lot in every aspect, whether it was like customer service, makeup, just like even being like people skills. And then they would give us trainings every 3 months.
See, and I think that's kind of cool that you like went that route, because it did like you're saying, you kind of got trained like customers, like how to do some things that maybe like, because I had Lily on the podcast too, and so Lily was telling the
Love
same thing.
Lily.
She worked at whatever the place in the mall was
It
called.
was
that
like Clips or something? No,
yeah,
not Clips.
it's not Clips, but
No, Reggie's.
yeah.
Yes,
Or Regal or
No, I think it's Reggie's.
Reggie's.
Yeah, maybe
Reggie's.
Reggie's. I don't know. Might be wrong. Reggie's.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
Look it up. Regal or Reggie?
like-
Oh, no, Regal is for
Yeah,
sure on movie
Lily,
theater.
where did you work? Where's Lily?
Where's Lily? Phone a friend. Yeah, I think it was. Is it Reggie's? I thought it was like Regal or.
I guess what would you?
Merced Mall Salon, like Jesse Penney's. I should have said.
And J.C.
Maybe it's
Penney's.
so-
Supercuts, JCPenney Salon. Well, it's probably not called that anymore.
Yeah, it's
probably
probably not. I
problem.
don't. They don't even have it. I don't think.
Yeah, I
There
think.
it is, Reggie's.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Regis.
Regis.
Right. Okay. No, you're right though.
Regis.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Reggie's.
Actually,
No,
I
I was like, I feel like it's Re something.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Reggie's. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I am horrible at.
You're the
like,
girl, man.
yeah.
You let us know.
I think it's Reggie's. I don't know.
No worries. So, but like, she was kind of saying the same thing, where you kind of get a like, although like if you work in your own shop, you're obviously making more money doing all those things. But if you're just starting out,
Yeah.
they kind of give you the tools to build and to gain that clientele, gain the different
Absolutely.
things. And
Yeah.
so you learned a lot just through Mac. And then were you always at Mac in Texas?
Yeah, for the 5 years. Towards the end, I ended up leaving the company. It was just like a lot was going on. I was actually managing that counter, and management just wasn't for me. I felt like it just.
So would you do less of like the the work?
less of like the makeup part. It was more like just scheduling the girls and just more like the management part. And so I was like, no, this isn't me. So I ended up stepping down from my position, and I was only 15 hours. I was literally there for like 2 days out of the week. So on the other time, I was taking clients on the side of the salon. And that's where the whole brow idea started. And I was
so
like,
you were just doing makeup only.
I was just doing makeup,
and then brows kind of started there.
Yep.
And then you moved back, and it kind of took off
And
a lot
then it kind of
more.
just took off, yeah.
And
I struggled a
did brows
lot.
become more popular, do you think? You know what I
feel
mean?
like it was always like a big industry, but I think like now it's more of like a, I don't know, it's like just
It's like a
people are-
regular thing that people
yeah, like
do.
it's more like popular in the sense of like girls want to look more put together now.
It's kind of like barbershops though too.
Yeah.
Like barbershops, like I feel like 10 years ago they started coming around again. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
15 years ago, it wasn't like there were a
What
whole
it
bunch of
is now.
barbers. Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? People were getting $10 haircuts.
Now it's
or
kind of like a
whatever.
luxury, right?
Yeah,
like
it's like an experience. I feel like
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean.
It's like whatever barber you go to, that's kind of like you get like the full, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, oh, I wonder. And well, I know what I think did blow up. The eyelash thing did blow up
The
because that was like
eyelash
a
thing, yes.
that was
and
like
the eyelash thing has been for years. I
Yeah.
mean, years. I just think like again, it was never really like shined upon, and now it's kind of like where every girl just doesn't like to take the time.
yeah.
They just want to look put together as soon as they wake up. They want to wake up like that, you know?
To me, I'm like, it just seems so painful.
It is a lot of work.
I see my wife like rip them off sometimes,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
Or like when girls put on like the I don't know what the eyeliner,
Yeah.
but it's like with a sharp pencil. I'm like, how are you guys not
It's
just
talent though too, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
That's what I'm
like-
saying.
Like the process that it takes to like look so well put together is intense. Yeah, it's intense, but
Well, I guess for the listeners, kind of explain what
for the
it is.
listeners. So, definitely grew up that way. I was bullied as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was very, very shy. Nothing like I am now. And then, of course, as time went by, like I always liked the beauty industry. Like I remember just being the little girl that always wanted like her socks matching her dress, and my mom, like if my mom did my hair, it had to be like perfect. And then obviously when I graduated high school, like I wanted to pursue the beauty industry, but of course it's like you're seen as like the beauty industry, you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
So it was kind of scary. And I remember like tumbling across things, and like when I was in beauty school, like girls would make fun of me, and these people were like older, like they're like moms, and they started like making fun of me, and it was kind of like at first it was like I was sad, but then it taught me to like be a little bit more resilient, like
and stronger.
Be stronger. And so anyway, as this time went by, like at Mac, like I said, that's why Mac taught me a lot of things like that. It wasn't just makeup. It taught me like how to just talk to customers, and I feel like customers too, like that would attract them to me because they would see how like well put together I was, and they were like, wow, like she's really doing that. So it took like a long time to like for me to really like I guess fully like start posting about it, because I was really like shy at first, like what are people gonna say, or what are people gonna think, or are people gonna be like I don't want to go to her because she doesn't have a hand, but now I've learned to just like
you like embrace it,
really, that's a
the best type of advice. Fuck it.
So that's when I started like my whole like gym like part of me too, because I've always wanted to go to the gym, but I was always so scared, like is the machine gonna like hit me, or am I gonna look like a fool?
Is there like an attachment or anything for like certain like for like pull-ups or something?
So there is like an actual like attachment, like I could go to like Hanger. If you've never seen Hanger, it's like they do prosthetics.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I know there is like a prosthetic for weightlifters. So I'm hoping to get that soon.
Okay,
but for now, I literally, me and my cousin, like one day were like, dude, what can you use? Like we were just like, let's wrap around this. Like it was funny.
You're like trial and error at this point.
Well,
especially because I'm pretty sure prosthetics are like stupid expensive, right? Or they're becoming more affordable.
I never really thought about the price.
Oh, really?
But I mean, I can only imagine. Yeah. And
I would have thought you would have researched this.
Yeah,
or something.
right. I know, right? I just know they have it because I follow people that are like, that don't have a hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So, my cousin was like, hey, like, why don't we try? It's actually like, so it's like, you know how like weightlifters put on these like straps and then it has like a hook to like help them lift? It's literally that.
Oh,
but of course, I don't have a hand.
Yeah.
So, but it helps because I just
But you can still wrap it around there.
Yeah, and it's like a Velcro.
And then use your weight.
And then I just,
Oh, okay.
And then just use that.
That's
and
cool.
it was like perfect when we tried it. We were like, what? Like we were so happy. Like, high five.
Well, 'cause I do remember, I saw you doing pull-ups or something like that you posted, and I was like, I wonder what type of
And it does like apply
that.
pressure, but I don't feel like it's like pain. Like people are like, is it painful? And I'm like, no, because it's just bone. Like
beauty's pain, huh?
Yeah, literally beauty is pain. But it's so that's kind of how like I started like being more involved in the gym. And like I said, just being more open to on my social media, which brought and opened up a lot of doors for me. Like I guess I'd never thought about it as like a way of inspiring others. And I really, that's what I feel like lately it's been. It's more like inspiration, like mothers reaching out and telling me like their stories, like I have a daughter or I have a cousin. And I'm like, wow, like I love hearing their stories. And their questions are always like, what did your mom teach you? Or like, how did your mom teach? Like they just know, like they see how confident I could be and like how like open I am. And I'm like, honestly, it did take a lot of that, but it took a lot of like for myself, like soul seeking, like what was it gonna take for me to like be able to open up?
Yeah, exactly. And I think basically when you start kind of embracing who you were, you kind of more opportunities kind of started opening.
And
up
I will
for
say
you.
like my husband was like a huge part of it too, because he's more of like a fuck it vibe, or like he's more like fuck them, or like who the fuck cares, and I'm more like no, like you know. So he's definitely taught me to be like a little stronger in that sense.
Yeah.
So it's also like the people that I'm around.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, the people that you're surrounding with.
Yourself with.
Yeah, because it's like if they're gonna talk bad or do, you know what I mean? If you're around negative people, it's like your life's just gonna end up be more
or you're
negative.
gonna hang around with people that are like, oh, don't do that, or like don't. No, it's like all of them are like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah,
like, just go out and do it. You know, if you're happy, it makes you happy. Then who cares?
Yeah, and that's the thing that took me into like same thing, like to like 2017, 2018 to kind of do the same thing where I was like, wait, what do I actually want? Because it's like you're afraid of what your friends are going to say. You're afraid of what your parents are going to say. You're afraid
and
of
even
like,
society, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Just what is society going to look at, you know?
It's like,
so.
It's like, and especially like the older you get, you're like, oh, I'm 25. I should know or I'm 26. I should know.
And I feel like even like people that aren't or don't have like a physical disability, but even can just be going through something. It helps them and inspire them. Like, dude, like, I see you and it makes me want to go. Or like they'll tell me like, hey, I started the gym today because of you. And I'm like, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
And then how did you and your husband meet?
So I actually didn't like him when I met him. Yeah. We met at a party when I
like how it's your first statement.
Yeah. And I was
actually, I didn't like him.
I did not like him. No, we met at a party.
Sorry for asking, bro. My bad.
It was a party. I had just moved back and, you know, I was like the new girl in town type of thing. Just because I moved away for so many years, people kind of just forgot. Like, dude, where you came
well,
from?
even if you're from, do you meet him in Dos Palos area? Or?
And it was actually a party in Los Baños.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. We're bringing up the whole
Bringing
valley
up
here.
the whole valley here. Yeah, so I met him just like through
we were on a date in
friends.
Modesto, and then we went to Fresno.
Literally. Then we went to here. Yeah.
No, just kidding. Sorry.
So yeah, that's how we met. Just a party, and then became friends. He had a girlfriend. I had a boyfriend, and then we kind of like broke up with our significant others, and we remained friends. And we would just like hang out like buddies. And one day I literally was talking to my nail girl about him. And she's like, dude, so who is this Tony guy you keep talking about all the time? And I'm like, my friend I told you about. And she's like, why don't you just date your friend? Like, he seems cool. And I'm like, no, I could never. That's the homie. And so
he was already in my friend zone.
Yeah, so I was like, no, dude, like, no, I don't date the homies. And so she was like, dude, like, you know, you always talk good stuff about him. Like, why not? And so I literally went home and I thought about it, and I was like, it's kind of cute. Yeah, I think it'll work out. And so I shot my shot one day.
So you shot it.
Yeah,
you brought it up. That
yeah.
happened with me and my wife. My wife shot her shot.
Yeah,
too.
you have to sometimes.
Yeah,
like, girls,
yeah.
come on, go out there, shoot your shot.
Yeah,
girl.
ladies, shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. Literally.
Ask the guys on dates.
Yes.
Stop making us do all the work. I'm just kidding.
Hey, after this podcast, they're gonna do their shot. You told me.
Yeah. Bro, you told me to shoot my shot and it didn't work.
Didn't work out.
Mercy.
Imagine. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I honestly was like, hey, like, do you want to date me? And he's like, yeah. Like literally, he's like, yeah, right away. And I'm like,
that's a guy.
That was a fast, yeah. Like, yeah.
You're like, could I have just been anybody?
Like,
Ask you that? Like,
and after that, really, he just.
and how long have you guys been together?
Together for 2 years, married for 6-7 months.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
we eloped in
You eloped,
February.
right?
Yeah.
And then you're planning a wedding though, right?
Yes.
So just eloped to.
To get the church wedding.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Now you're gonna do big wedding or what?
Kind of intimate, but
Yeah.
big, I guess.
Do both family and friends.
Mostly family and friends.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. Where are you guys gonna marry at?
Fireball.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
That's where he
Fireball.
grew up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so Olive Valley here, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Fireball,
We're naming like this, yeah, some towns.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Fireball.
Josh Allen, there you go, yeah.
Dual
Bill.
Dude, that was a good game yesterday. Sorry, I don't want to talk about that. By the time this comes out, it's going to be so long ago.
You want to talk football?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you into, you like football?
Yeah.
So what are you a?
Niner fan.
Niner fan,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But it's just like I play so much fantasy that
Oh.
I got my own guys to worry about.
Yeah.
Me and him are in a league we're in a league with like all our friends who we've known for like 10 years,
That
at least
thing
10
is
years
like a real
now.
big thing, right? Like guys get really into that whole fantasy football
it's like
stuff. It's like
50%
insane.
of what we talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
especially during the season, it's like
Yeah.
This week is going to
like
be more
intense.
because we play against
Yeah,
each
we play
other,
each
so we're going to be chirping.
I see. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
It's like a whole deal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
like-
description of it.
yeah.
It's a whole
It's a
deal.
whole-
And then, so you didn't go. So Mac kind of taught you everything. Didn't go to any school for makeup.
I did go to esthetician school, Federico Beauty Institute in Sacramento.
Oh,
Which
okay,
they have a
gotcha.
sister location in Fresno.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
but I decided to move out there because at the time my brother was living out there. So, and I was actually going to go to Sac State. I did start Sac State. I actually went for 1 semester, but I didn't like college, so I was a college dropout. But you know,
Hey.
here we are.
Shout out Kanye.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, one of his best albums too.
Nice. And then besides like all the beauty and everything else, like what do you like to do? Like you said, you like to work out, but like what else?
This
do you
is
like
that
to...
one. This is that one question. that
You're like, I don't
take
know.
long walks down the beach,
Yeah.
you know? Honestly, like right now, it's really just like gym. We like to travel as much as we can. Right now, it's like wedding stuff. Wedding planning is
Everything.
pretty intense.
Yeah. He's
He's
planning a wedding too right now.
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's
Next
good.
September.
Oh, me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what day?
Nice. The 30th.
Okay, 23rd, so week before
Oh, yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
So we'll be at yours, don't worry.
Well, yeah. Wedding crashers.
No, we said on the podcast a year ago.
I'm like, that's an invite right there. Huh? We're coming. Yeah, so yeah, just honestly that traveling, spending a lot of time with my family. They really are like my backbone. And then just like I said, spending time with my husband and traveling as much as we can. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Where do you guys travel to? Any
We go to
favorite places? or-
like Mexico.
Okay,
We love going to
gotcha.
Mexico. Here, we've been to Miami. We've been to a couple.
do you go to like the resorts in Mexico, or do you go
No,
to Mexico?
it's like
Mexico?
rancho. You know, have you heard of rancho stuff?
I don't
before?
know. Look up rancho.
Rancho in Durango. No, it's like it's small town, honestly, small
Uh-huh.
town, but it's like where all my family's from. And so that's the only time really
Oh,
that
that's
I get
cool,
to see
man.
my
So
family.
you get to like, you have
Yeah,
like,
I haven't
family?
visited his location yet, which is Jalisco, which is
Okay,
near the
yeah,
beach.
yeah. I've heard of stuff.
Beautiful.
Is
I
on
haven't
the-
visited there.
It's like California side, or I mean, Pacific side. Is that Jalisco or no?
I just know it's like coast. So
Yeah,
would
I
that be
think so.
Pacific Ocean?
I was like, is
Oh,
it
I
kind of by
don't know, don't tell me
Baja?
about geography. I'm not really.
It's along Pacific Ocean.
Okay,
yeah, so
okay,
that's
gotcha.
where he's
I was
from.
like-
He's more like beach, and I'm like more like the hills, like in the middle of nowhere.
Are you first generation over here?
I'm first generation Mexican American.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
My mom and dad.
They came over.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
They
That's
don't
cool.
speak English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my
gotcha.
first language was
So Spanish.
Yeah.
And then that's wild.
Yeah. So it's like a whole different area. But I have been to like Cancun.
Yeah,
I've
all
been
the
to like
typical.
Mazatlan.
Yeah. Where'd you go, Duffy?
Mexico City.
I went to Cabo. San
Cabo.
Lucas.
Okay, yeah. So we go deep. We go deep in the
Yeah,
rancho.
way down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the Baja side. I wasn't in mainland Mexico.
Oh, okay.
I heard Baja is like crazy nice. Like it's like that whole
Baja-
area.
Oh, okay. Like
the-
Ensenada and all that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I haven't been to Ensenada yet, but it does look stunning.
The only reason I've been to Ensenada is because of cruise ships. My family like went on
Oh.
like or my grandma and grandpa, they took like our whole entire family on a cruise one
Yeah.
time, or 2 times. But it was like, I mean, as a kid, it was the craziest, the best thing in the world because you could have unlimited ice cream cones, man. So I had like 30 ice cream cones in a weekend. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like the only place we stop is Ensenada, though.
Ensenada.
And then there was always that Papas and Beers place where they're just
Yes, that's like
violating
Rosarito.
women. And they're like, all the girls were like, do it to me. I'm
Oh
like,
my
what?
gosh. Rosarito is crazy. That's like the place that you go to like, just get fucked up.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, Mexico is beautiful. If you ever get to travel a little bit more in Mexico, I
Mhm.
like highly recommend it. It's like so stunning. My favorite place is Jalisco, even though I haven't like been to the place where his parents grew up.
Oh, but you've been
But
around the area.
I've been
and
around the
stuff?
area,
Oh,
and yeah,
okay.
there's like I mean never been to Spain, but from the pictures, it gives you like Spanish vibes.
Oh,
Yeah.
really, really?
It's really
I've been to Portugal because my
Okay.
my cousin lives in Portugal, but that place is awesome. I think any other country you go to though, it gives
Yeah.
you like a different perspective.
I have
whenever
yet
you
to
go
go
to it.
Somewhere like that, like not
I mean-
besides Mexico, but
Yeah,
like,
Oh, like
Like
abroad.
Europe
Yeah,
or-
yeah. I haven't been to like Europe. I mean, technically, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Not really.
Not really,
yeah,
yeah.
not like the England Europe portion. This podcast is brought to you by none other than Marcus Rodriguez. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in this competitive market and you're not too sure where to start, look no further than Merced's preferred realtor, Marcus Rodriguez. He'll make the process go as smooth and easy as possible, and you can reach him at 209-554-1715. Visit his website, www.myagentmarcus.com, or email him, info@myagentmarcus.com. Thanks again, Marcus. This podcast is brought to you by Thore. If you're looking to get a tattoo in the Central Valley area and you're not too sure where to start, look no further than this dude right here. He's a versatile artist that specializes in black and gray realism. He's located in Merced at the Merced Tattoo and Piercing Company, and if you'd like to get in contact with him, the best thing you can do is stop by the shop in the beginning of the month in person and make an appointment, and if not, you can follow him on Instagram. That's @_Thore with 5 E's. Once again, that's @_THOREEEEE. Thanks again, Thor. Are you thinking about that giant pile of junk in your backyard and you don't know what to do with it? Well, stop right there. Look no further than Scott Livesay, owner of Be Junk Free Merced. Everybody has stuff that's taking up space, but not everybody has time or equipment to do something about it. That's where Scott Livesay comes in. If you have junk overtaking your garage, yard, that spare room, or even a storage unit, give Be Junk Free Merced a call at 209-233-1519. Once again, that's 209-233-1519. Thanks again, Scott. That's cool. And then do you like teach classes or anything? Or
So yeah, I actually started teaching like eyebrows, makeup. I have before, but with makeup, I feel like to me it's a little bit more like detailed. Like I can't put a whole class together for like in a couple of hours. Like for me, that's like I won't be able to teach you completely what you can learn with makeup. So it is a little bit more like tedious. With brows, I did start teaching, so it's called my By Mercy Academy. Which I'm revamping the whole thing just because I wanted to make it like a little bit more better, a little bit longer. I felt like in one day I wasn't able to teach a whole lot, so I'm trying to make it like a 2-day type of thing. So it's just figuring out like just my schedule, the schedule with the girls, because I am using the whole facility.
Oh, the whole facility
Yeah,
thing.
so it's like getting like in touch with all that. But yeah, I do teach eyebrows.
that's cool. And so do you need like you're just giving them like knowledge for it to like
Knowledge-
pointers and stuff? But like, do you get
More like in depth what you
Yeah.
don't learn in school, because school's really just like getting a piece of paper.
it's like how to
and-
do it basically?
Yeah.
But it's not kind of
but
like.
it's not like in depth. It's really
Mhm.
just a lot of sanitation.
Mhm.
It's not really.
Yeah,
like,
that's like pretty much the main thing you have
Yeah,
to
it's
pass,
not like
right? It's just you pass
expertise.
this and you know
Yes.
it doesn't matter. You just have to know how to clean your stuff.
So I teach in that part, and I do only offer it for people who are licensed.
Oh, okay.
So I won't open it to the public.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
what I was, so you have to have a license in order to do it right and
Yes.
everything.
Absolutely.
And then how many different ways are there to like do eyebrows? I mean, I don't know
So
if that
there's
question-
like threading, there's waxing, there's tweezing, and I think that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But okay, what's your preferred method? Thread?
I mean, it would be bad for me not to say like waxing, right? 'Cause that's what I
you do? Okay, yeah.
But I always tell people like even
That's what you do mainly though, is
Yes,
waxing?
just all
Okay,
wax, all
gotcha.
wax.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
if there's a
gotcha.
client that's like obviously going through like skin conditions such as like acne, or they're like on a medication, you can't use wax because you can give them like you can lift their skin, so you can actually give them a 3-degree burn.
Oh.
So you at that point I only offered the only tweeze option, which is actually how I taught myself, was all tweezing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Really? And then so you basically just focus on waxing, and then with the wax it's like what is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's just like honey wax, so
honey-
it's like a sticky residue that just
Mhm.
like takes off hair.
and then you just put it on.
You just put it on and then like lift it off, and then it just pulls the hair.
Man.
Yeah, and it's nice clean lines.
Uh-huh.
You have to be really like careful on how you apply it, because obviously you can pull somebody's eyebrows off like completely.
Have you ever
I've had
like
that.
messed up where you're like,
Honestly, I had that question the other day from one of my clients. She's like, "Have you ever ripped off an eyebrow?" And I'm like, "Thankfully, no. Let it not be you today."
yeah.
But no.
Yep.
Yeah. Thankfully, no. I have not. I think it's because I've always been really like careful, and like that's why I started with tweezing only, because I wasn't comfortable going straight into wax. Once I got the tweezing down, I felt like that's when I'm like, okay, I'll move to wax next.
Mhm.
But it did take me quite a while to like get used to like just how to spread the wax on people's clients, and then you obviously can't like put it so close, because then you can obviously over.
Are there certain tweezers that are like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes like you're like,
Yeah,
let's say I'm trying to
I
pull
feel
out a
like
hair
there
for some
is.
reason, or ingrown hair,
Yeah.
and it keeps sliding over and over.
Yeah, I feel like
again.
there is definitely like something that's a little bit more sharp. Like Tweezer Man are probably like my best
Mhm.
brand that I use. Other than that, like I've tried other brands and I'm like, these suck. So.
Tweezer Man?
Tweezer Man. Tweezer Man are the best. They're really expensive, but they're like totally worth it.
Well, I think that's like with everything. Or
Yes, like
any
good tools.
Yeah, any
Yeah,
good
definitely.
tools to whatever your craft is. So like barber things, it's like, yeah, this razor thing might be $500 or $1,000, but at the end of the day, it's like if you're gonna use it
Worth
every
it.
single day, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Same thing with me. I do like a lot of camera and video stuff,
Yep.
and it's like at the end of the day, it's like I'm gonna spend $2,000 and then $1,000 on a lens because I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
Like every day, it's gonna make my products better. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So same thing for you.
It's going to give you like a good payback. For
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah. So
exactly.
that-
how
yeah.
much is a tweezer? Like, what's your most expensive tweezer?
I want to say I paid $65.
Oh,
for
okay,
one of them.
gotcha.
Yeah, and it's like super tiny. So, yeah. I'm like- but I mean, like you said, good tools will help you obviously be better in what you do.
Mm-hmm. And then you do weddings and stuff? Oh, you did my
So
wife's wedding.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
our
did do
wedding.
Lindsay. Yeah, so I do.
I was like, do you do weddings?
I do bridal parties on Saturdays. That's the only time I'll do makeup, just because I'm so busy during the week with
Mhm.
just eyebrows. And then that's kind of also my expertise is bridal parties. I love doing bridal parties. I think it sets a tone. It's a little bit more different.
And so you're there from like what time? Like, what's the earliest you've
The
been to? Yeah,
earliest-
because I'm.
the earliest I've ever done makeup, oh my gosh, it was 4 a.m. And I'm like, who gets their makeup done at 4 a.m? Like, I don't know.
Was it
like,
an early wedding?
it was actually a quinceañera.
Oh, okay. I just did
Yeah.
my first quinceañera.
And I'm like, dude, what? But I mean, I got paid, so
Yeah.
I guess I was there.
well, honestly, yours it's like, yeah, you're up earlier doing stuff, but like. As far as wedding vendors go, you kind of have the best schedule in the sense of like, once you're done, you
gone.
dip out.
Yeah.
Like you don't have
That
to
is
wait.
true.
Like
Yeah.
we're like we get there
Yeah.
pretty much when you're done.
Yeah.
When you're finishing up
Yeah.
with the bride, we're like, all right, our day is starting here.
Yes.
Let's get
Let's
shots
get
of the dress.
whole going.
Can you?
Yeah.
We're always like, can you fake put on
Yes,
makeup? You
I
know, all the
always
video.
get asked
Yeah, yeah.
question.
So you don't have to actually do it. We just need your
to act like
yeah,
you're doing it.
exactly.
But you're right, because I'm usually done with bridal parties, or my Saturdays are usually done by like 1 or 2 p.m.
Yeah, and that's like
Unless they're having like a more evening wedding.
yeah.
But by 2 o'clock, I'm like,
Yeah,
ready to
that's
go
still
home.
pretty chill.
Yeah.
And then
So
what?
I've traveled like all around the valley.
What? And what
yeah.
days? Do you have like specific days you take off?
It's usually Saturday mornings. Like if it's like a 2-hour drive, yeah, Saturday. So I'll be on the road by 4 a.m.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. But is there days that you take off?
Oh, so my days off are usually Sundays and Mondays.
Mondays.
Yeah.
A lot of beauty places on Mondays,
Yes.
like kind of like their day
Sundays
off.
are like my family days. Those are the
Mhm.
days that I, give it to like my mom, my dad, the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say the kids, like my niece and nephews. I don't have
Yeah, I have
kids.
nieces and
Yeah.
nephews too.
Yeah.
You have dogs or anything?
No dogs.
You gotta get a
No
dog.
attachments
I'm just
besides my
kidding.
husband. Yeah, no.
You didn't even want him, huh? I'm just kidding.
Right? I know. Sorry, babe.
Yeah. Her, not me, dude. Her. I'm just kidding. No. And then, so what's your guys' shop called?
Pinky's Beauty Lounge.
Pinky's Beauty
Yeah.
Lounge. Was it already named that when you
Yeah,
got
the
it?
girls named it that.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And then, so there's just 2 nail techs and
2
then
nail
you.
techs. Yep.
And but eyebrows is like the things you get booked more like on a daily basis?
Yes, that's like a Tuesday through Friday type of deal.
Uh-huh.
And that I actually have my books closed because I can't take new clients. Because then if it's a reoccurring schedule. So like, for example, my clients come in.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
They're
yeah.
rebooked 3 weeks out. So by the time it's 3 weeks, I'm already booked out.
Wow.
So that's why people are like, why can't you take more clients? And I'm like, because it doesn't allow me to have that time to be able to see you. Because if not, you're going to have to see me like in 10 weeks.
How long does it take, like, per person?
The service, usually, if it's just a brow wax, it takes me about 35 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And then I also do another service that's called brow lamination, which is like the newer technique of doing eyebrows, and that takes me about an hour.
What is that one?
So that's actually it's actually like lifting the brow, so it's giving you a fuller effect on the brow. So when people have like a more like stubborn brow or their hairs aren't like aligning or brushed the correct way.
I have some long ass eyebrows.
Yeah, so that actually helps. Yeah, it just helps to like really brush them into place. So brow lamination is like the newer like hype of brows.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
And so how new is that?
I want to say I heard about it right a little bit before COVID. So like 2019 is when it was like introduced to me.
So like,
and it was actually brought up to me by a client of mine. She's like, "Hey, have you seen like this like trend?"
Really?
And I'm like, "What? Like, what is this?" So I started like researching into it, and I took a course, and it like literally just took off. Like it was so good. Like when I was offering it, I was like, everybody was like, "Yeah, I want that."
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's been a huge success, and yeah.
What's it
Definitely.
called again?
Brow lamination.
Brow lamination?
Yes.
So what do you do? Like you're like just
It's
making
like
them puffy almost?
It's
or
like
what?
chemical. So yeah, it's like you put
okay.
a cream and it like relaxes the hair follicle. So it,
Oh,
in a sense, it's like a straight. It's like a straight perm.
Oh,
Have you ever had a perm?
okay. Yeah. Oh no, I haven't had one, but I know
Okay.
what it is. Yeah.
So like instead of making it curly, it makes it straight.
My nephew had a perm recently,
really?
so yeah.
That's like a trend
kids,
with boys
dude.
lately. Yeah.
They'll get like the normal haircut with their sides, but
Yeah.
then they'll just perm the top and
Yeah.
then let it fall over the top of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not even a fade anymore. It's just like a weird little bob.
Yeah.
And then I was making fun of him because he has like my mom has like kind of like short hair like that.
Yeah.
But he like grew out his hair just to the top. Like the top of it would hang down all the way to here, and like they look like identical. Like they would
Yeah.
both have the same exact
That's
haircut.
so funny.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, you have a bob right now.
No, I
dude.
know, these
He's
kids-
he wouldn't get. I wanted him to cut his hair like a mullet.
Uh-huh.
Like mine,
Yeah.
and to do like I want to do like a Back to the Future where it's like me talking to
Yeah,
myself, but he
that's-
wouldn't do
he
it.
wouldn't do it.
Oh, I'll pay you. Then he was like, "You have to pay me," and
What?
I was like, and I went up to $70, and
Yeah.
he said no, and I was like, I'm not even gonna pay you $70, but the fact that you're saying no to this, I was like, and then I asked him to run my TikTok for my podcast. I was like, how much do you think is a fair price? And I was just like curious, like what does he think? He's like, I don't know, $10 a month, and I was like, yeah,
that's
I was
perfect,
like,
dude.
I was like, guess what? I'll do 20. He has yet to do it.
Yeah.
I told him you have to hit me up if you want to do this.
Yeah.
He did not hit me up.
He never came
Yeah.
back.
How old are your nieces and nephews?
My oldest niece is 8, which is also my goddaughter. And then I have another nephew who's also 8, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-month-old baby.
Oh, and how many siblings do you have?
I have 3 older brothers.
Okay, so they're all
Mhm.
older brothers'
Yeah,
kids.
all men, and then I'm the only girl.
Oh,
the baby.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I have 2 sisters. I'm the only. You're the youngest though
I'm
too.
the youngest.
Yeah. So I have 2 older sisters, and I'm the.
And you're the baby.
Yeah, baby. I mean,
yeah.
look at us. How old are you?
I'm gonna be 31 next month,
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And what is November?
November.
And then so how long does what's your guys' sign again?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. It goes that long though. From no.
No, I'm actually kind of cusp. So like Scorpio ends the 22nd, and then it starts Sagittarius.
Oh, that's like Aries. Like I'm like the first day or second day of Aries,
Oh,
basically.
okay. And then what's the one before it?
I could
What month are you?
March. Well, but
you're like a Pisces?
But he's late March.
But I'm
too,
late
so-
March.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah.
Pisces.
So all my no, I'm Aries.
Oh, okay.
But-
no, but I mean, like, didn't you say like the cusp?
Yeah, but the class is before me though.
I
But
see.
but like, so my sisters are born March 16th,
Uh-huh.
March 20th, and I'm March 25th.
What?
Yeah, that's why. And I was born like 4 weeks early too.
So did you guys have like joint birthday parties?
No, but it was always sucked. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're like, it was just like Christmas in our household where
Yeah.
we're like, man, things are. It's like we can't expect that, or you know what I mean? It's like I'd rather have a July birthday that way.
Yeah.
It's like standalone and like
Yeah.
you can spend as much money as you want, mom, dad. You know what I mean?
Literally.
But it was all within 10 days, so it was always
Oh.
like crazy. But both my sisters are Pisces, and I'm an
Okay.
Aries though.
Oh, I see.
I was like looking up there.
It's
like,
kind of like my birthday
horoscope.
this year lands in like Thanksgiving.
Oh, there we
there
go.
it is.
Remember the signs of the zodiac.
Yeah, Pisces is before Aries.
Aries and Rams. Yeah, but you're right. Like you're saying, where you're like kind of on the cusp of it too. Like that says that, but then if you actually look up my birth date, it says Aries. So when did you get into horoscopes? I'm just kidding.
Honestly, it was just kind of, I don't even know how I got into them, but it's actually like people don't believe, but I'm like, it doesn't like tell you who you are, but it definitely does pick up traits. Like, if
Character
you're like
traits.
a certain way, if you're like a certain way, like I've definitely picked up on like I could be sitting at a table and I could like kind of point out like, I think you're this, you know.
We had a musical guest on, and he was like, and he was really cool. He was performing a song, and then he was like, wait, he was like, or we were talking, and he was like, you seem like an Aries, and I was like, I am an Aries. He was
Oh,
like,
because you wanted me to.
what was it again? Yeah.
You had me just like mix it quick so we could show him.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you're a real go-getter. You like to get it done quickly. You're an Aries.
And I was like, I am. And
Yeah.
he was like, I knew it. He was like, because I think he was Aries too or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was like, I'm an Aries too. He's like, I know. That guy was so funny. And he also, so I've been doing musical guests on every single episode.
Uh-huh.
So like with this episode, I'll pair a musical guest with this. So if you have any recommendations
Oh.
after the podcast or
Yeah.
anything, just let me know
Okay.
because we're behind on that one.
Okay.
we're ahead on our podcast.
So you're trying to bring on like more artists.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, because the whole thing with the podcast is like I like to highlight a whole bunch of different people, and that's why my wife recommended you
Yeah.
to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And she was like, "Oh, she has a cool story." And then because my wife said that she got her brows done by you 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
and she said it was like the second or third time that
Yeah.
she realized that you didn't have a hand.
Yeah, a lot of people don't find out until like way later. Like my husband, it took him like a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I haven't really
But a
noticed
lot
at
of
all
people-
either, but
Yeah. No, a lot of people it does take him a while.
oh,
But yeah, I did do Lindsay's brows and then obviously she like booked
because
me for-
and then Roy, you know Roy?
Yes,
yeah,
Roy,
yeah,
yeah.
Roy.
Yeah.
I just used to be myself in the head with this. I've never done that. I was like, oh. No, Roy's a character.
Roy's funny.
Yeah. And then how do you kind of balance your like work life and then your free time? You know what I mean? Because over the years, like, have you gotten better at it?
Yeah, well, yeah, actually, yes. It's very hard, especially like now that I feel like with like being married and like just having like always like being busy like every week and like every Saturday with like bridal parties and then having to teach and then being able to like be with the gym life. It's very hard. I will say that I became a 5 a.m. person in order for me to be able to accomplish all those things that I want to accomplish. And then definitely just being like I'm a schedule girl. Like
okay.
even with my friends, like if they're like, hey, like can we hang out? And I'm like, I don't know, hold on, let me check. Like I definitely have to be like on my calendar, but I
Yeah.
will say like juggling time for me, it's been waking up extremely early and going to sleep at a good time to me be able to be functional and being like alert. I feel like when I was like not doing that, I was like waking up late, I was like not eating correctly, and I was like always tired, and yeah, it just wasn't it. So I feel like becoming a 5 a.m. person has definitely helped me in that sense. But it is hard. When I see people say like they have their shit together, I'm like, no, you don't. Like it's really hard. Like it's I don't know how some people do it with like kids and dogs and other things.
I mean, dogs is the least.
Or juggling
least
like
thing,
3
but
jobs. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that?
Like, how do you have time to do?
I don't
it all?
even have kids nor pets.
Well, yeah, but I think like being your own boss is like its own challenge because this is my first full year of doing like photography, videography full time, and the podcast. But the podcast is my side gig. That's also full time. You know what I mean? But it's like trying to figure out the balance of like giving yourself time because it's like you're so or. When you're first starting out, you're like, yes. You know what I mean? I want to get clients. I need to. Yes. You know what I mean? And then you start slowly like realizing that you're not having any time for yourself or like, I was like, so like
spun out basically to where it's like in the very beginning, because it was like the first 3 months I was like saying yes to everything, but like I never like I would go home and I was just like my mind's racing, but I don't have anything. It wasn't organized either, so it was like trying to find the balance of like.
And it's a lot of like trial and error, like you said. Like I think having boundaries was one of the biggest things. Like I love that word.
So what boundaries have you put?
Like
in place
boundaries I put in place. Like I don't answer work messages on my days off. And then I won't answer my phone as soon as I get home. Because it came to the point where, like, if we're in the dinner table, my husband's like, get off your phone. And it wasn't because he was, like, upset at me. It's just like, dude, like, I'm trying to have a conversation with you. And I'm, like, trying to, like, hold on, let me text back my client. And it's like, I realistically shouldn't be doing that because it's not my work hours.
Yeah.
So, like, I have work hours. And, like, I always tell people, like, you don't go to Target and you tell them, hey, can you close at 9:15 for me? Because, it's like, no, they close at 9.
Yeah,
so I'm treating my business as if I was, like, a big corporation as well because I am a business.
Yeah, no, that.
But I've learned it took me a long time to be able to say that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, because I'm at that phase kind of right now where I'm like I realize what things I need to do. My wife like kind of.
And I think it's like your business goes through those stages.
Yeah.
Like of course in the beginning when I had no client, I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm not gonna work. You know.
You're like I need to.
Yeah, I was like a yes girl. Like I was like, oh, you want it? Yes, I'll be there. Yes. So it's just like learning to set those boundaries as you grow, and obviously with growth comes those things.
Yeah, exactly.
And then learning, like, there's so many other things that I tried that I failed miserably and that I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. I'll do this instead. But it's like all trial and error. Like you have to fail in order to be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people are afraid to fail. And I think like people, I spit on the mic, people in the valley, or not people in the valley, people everywhere, you know what I mean? They're afraid to like take that step, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like with every failure, you're going to learn something about yourself. So it's like for me, it was like when I got into photography, videography, I would just throw myself into like situations where I'm like, I don't think I should be doing this, but like I'm going to do this because I'm throwing myself into uncomfortable situations, and it's either fight or flight. You're gonna learn, or you're gonna learn for sure, and you're gonna grow for sure. You know what I mean? Because it was like I got into photography, videography like when I was in 2019, and then in 2020, me and Jimmy, my buddy Jimmy, we did our first wedding, and it was like I was like barely not even a year in when I was doing it, and like. He was a little more experienced than me, which is why, like, obviously we were doing it and stuff like that. But it's just like I feel like you have to throw yourself in those situations. So have there's ever been a time where like you've thrown yourself into an uncomfortable situation that you've like maybe even looking back, you're like it wasn't the best, but you learned from it, you grew from it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for that one was taking the role of being a manager when I was at Mac. I think that was like a huge like. I never saw myself as a manager, and that role was like they threw me into it, and I did the best I could. But but what I learned from it is management isn't for me, and B, I learned so much in the sense of that's how I run my business now.
I was gonna say,
like a lot of that I definitely use now, and if it wasn't for Mac, and I always say this, I don't think I would learn those things and incorporate them into my business and be as successful.
What like advice could you give people who are similar fields, like entrepreneurs? Well, I mean, just in general, like what has worked for you? Like you said, setting boundaries has worked for you. Like
I think the biggest one is being a people person. Like you can't be in a business and not be like catering to your clients. I think that for me is the biggest thing. And honestly, like just literally don't give up. A lot of these girls that like go straight into like cosmetology or esthetician, I feel like because they don't see the clientele right away, they're just like, I suck at this, I'm just gonna give up. And there was a point in my life where like I always tell people, it's like I literally had no money. Like I was so broke. And I'm so thankful for my parents that were there for me, because I don't think I would have continued, but they literally pushed me and gave me like the funds that I needed at that moment, and I never gave up. Like I knew that I was good at what I did, so I knew that somebody out there was gonna like what I did, and we're gonna tell their friend, and it was gonna be the word of mouth, because word of mouth is gonna be your biggest.
For me,
like,
same
yes,
thing.
social media, but like nowadays social media, but like word of mouth is what's gonna get you out there. Somebody's gonna like, for example, you come on your podcast and say, dude, I had such an like amazing experience, and then they're gonna like repeat that.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing, I never thought my podcast would help with my business of photography, videography.
Yeah.
For me, it was always like, I have the podcast and I do photography, videography, but like you're saying, it's kind of I'm a people person too, and it's like I get to make impressions with these people, you know what I mean? And it's like you're making an impression, and then one of their friends is like, oh, I need to have a video about blah, blah, or I need a photo,
and just share
whatever.
his word.
Yeah, exactly. And like, That's the whole thing. It's like I have Instagram that I kind of started recently for my business, but it's like one of those things where it's so hard to post for 2 different Instagram accounts.
Yeah,
blah blah blah. It's so annoying. Like
Yeah.
that's that you posted like should I just have one, right?
Yeah, I did.
I think you
Because
should.
I tried to do that.
I think you should.
I tried to do that, and I was like, you know what? Like, this is too much. Like, I'm putting too much.
But I wonder if
energy.
you should change your other one's name to the Real by Mercy then. You know
My-
what I-
my
you
now one?
Your yeah.
Like my existing one.
Yeah, your bigger one.
My bigger. I don't know.
I don't know. Don't listen to me. But
I think because it's such a brand already with By Mercy,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it would
yeah,
be
yeah.
like kind of like.
I guess it's the opposite.
Yeah,
More
and
people know that one.
would be I rebranded in 2020.
What did
That's
you
when
used to be?
I used to be Mac Up by Mercy because I worked at Mac. So it's kind of like makeup, but Mac.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Got a
And
little
then
play
I
on
just
words.
took off the Mac and then
Put By
just
Mercy. I like By Mercy.
Yeah,
though.
By
It's
Mercy's
pretty
cool.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's short. It's to the point. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what. So I did my media business name is like Pine and Palm Media, and that's just to kind of keep it similar to with the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
And it's like I wanted everything to kind of overlap because before it's like there's so many like blah 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 photography. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Or
yes.
like, and my whole thing is like I don't just do photography. I don't just
You kinda do everything.
videography.
Yep.
Yeah, and we can also like record people in here and other things. So it's like a bigger thing that we can do comparatively to just like photography.
Yes, and that's kind of when I rebranded, I was doing so many things. Like I was doing like beauty, I was doing makeup videos, I was doing eyebrows, I was sharing my outfits. I was like doing so much that I'm like, if I were to put beauty or if I were to put makeup, like Mercy makeup, I feel like I would have just generalized to that. And I
Yeah.
wanted it to be more broad. Like I said, I think now it's like growing in the sense of like being a micro influencer where like I'm inspiring people and
Yeah.
people are like, where did you buy that outfit or where did you buy this?
Yeah, you always seem like you're fitted up.
Yeah,
huh?
so I like to share that.
Where'd you get your style from, huh? Or why do you?
I don't know. I feel like I've always been like stylish.
You always
like
like to
I've
get
always liked
fitted?
funky things or putting things together, and then again, just like being not being scared of sharing all of that. I feel like it grew even more. Like I was able to like share my style a little bit.
Well,
more.
I was going through when I was like, because I was getting screenshots to post. I'm gonna have Mercy on the
Yeah.
podcast, but one of them was like with you and like you had a Gucci bag, but like a Goodwill blazer
Oh,
on. Or
yeah,
whatever. You're
yeah,
like the 2 G's or whatever.
Yeah, the 2 G's. Yeah.
I was
and
all
see, like I
laughing about
shopped
that.
at like I like Goodwill is such a like it's
Goodwill is awesome.
Goodwill's a
or
shit,
you ever go
man.
to the thrift store
Yep,
on
Merced-
V
the
Street?
Merced thrift store?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That one's like always.
I go crazy in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's they'll have like just Nike and like good stuff. It's just
Good
one of those you
stuff.
just got to look for it. Some people just don't like to
And
look
that's
for
how
it.
style is. Like I always tell people, like you wear the style, don't let the style wear you, and that's like the best way to put it.
That's pretty good.
Some people
yeah.
are like, how do you get so confident in wearing like weird things? And I'm like, you just don't let it wear you. Like you just wear it with
Yeah,
confidence.
yeah.
Walk into that room like
It's
nobody
like-
cares.
Well, I had my hair pretty much the same for all my life, and then recently I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a mullet, like, and but I cut the mullet early so I can like grow into it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah.
I could be comfortable with
Yeah.
it. I was gonna, and I hate growing out my hair, but what I realize now that I have like a longer mullet is that like I don't hate growing out my hair necessarily. I hate my hair that's on the front of my face.
Okay.
But with like a mullet, like your sides are trimmed so it's
Yeah.
not falling down, and
Yeah.
it's like that part it always gets frizzy and just
Yeah.
like I don't know. I hated it, but like now I'm just.
Like you
Full
rock it.
mullet, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and
Yeah.
like you wear it, like you're
Yeah.
saying. I like
Yeah,
that.
you have to wear it. Yeah,
I
just
like
wear it.
that. And then, so what, like, for entrepreneurs going in similar fields and stuff like that, like, so what have you learned from like having no clients? You know what I mean, and struggling to like now you're saying you have a regular clientele. Well, and so I mean, obviously these are kind of similar questions and everything else, but what kind of you learned from that process of like gaining clients and having regulars?
I think, like I said, just still being like a people person. I've always been the one to like remain humble and like remember where you came from. So I feel like the feeling of not having the client is what keeps me motivated still.
Mhm.
Because I remember being at that very low place in my life and my career that I'm like, I never want to go back to that. But also remembering who I am and not letting it kind of like get to my head like, oh, I'm this booked out, like I'm this good, like I think I'm great. Like, no, like remember where you came from, remember who you are. And I don't know, like I've been in situations where like even like situations humble me, you know, whether it's like a client rescheduling me or a client canceling on me. And it's like going a little bit a step beyond and being like, hey, like I noticed that happened. Like, was this something that I did wrong? Or like I'm always like that kind of person, like I reach out. But yeah, I think, like I said, just still being connected with your clients and like always remembering who your clients are too. I think that's like a huge thing. A lot of my clients tell me like, you know, the reason I keep coming back to you is because you remember what I did like a month ago. And I'm like, what do you mean? So like they'll come back and I'll be like, hey, how was that concert you went to? And they're like, you remember that? And I'm like, yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like you told me you were gonna go to a concert. So it's like having that like connection with your client and
Actual
being
personal
relatable.
connection.
Yes,
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
actual connection.
And not just like a number,
superficial.
not
Exactly.
like number.
Or like another number or like another client. Like, no, I actually know these people. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
it's like they become like my little besties. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, so I'd go to the dentist and my dentist would remember stuff.
Yeah.
But that I'm like, I think they write notes because it's like the lady cleaning my teeth and I'd be like saying one thing to her and like 6 months later she was like, oh, are you still, and I feel like you're every few weeks, you know what I
yes,
mean?
yes,
so
it's
I
consistent,
understand
it's
why you have the,
consistent, yes.
you're actually like every time you're like getting
every
to know
time,
them,
like
you
I'm
know
in
what I
their
mean?
I'm in their life. Like
Yeah.
like or something happens, I'm like, oh my God, what happened with that guy that you were dating? Oh my God, this and that, you know? So it's
Yeah.
always like
But like when it's like a 6 month thing, I'm always like, you guys
yeah,
must write
that's
some
kinda,
notes.
I don't think I don't.
Yeah, like let's
sometimes
say
I
we
don't
talked
remember,
we
yeah.
talked once for 30 minutes
Yeah.
and then 6 months later
Yeah.
you might, depending on the conversation, but like I was always like, I don't know if I was like, I feel like you guys,
They might write notes. Yeah.
And I think one time they were like, oh, how was you and your girlfriend or whatever? And then I was like, oh, we broke up. Or I was like
that
this.
story.
Like you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's funny. That's funny. And then I don't know. That's pretty much all my questions. But so we talked about kind of like what you like to travel, you like to do all those other things,
Yeah.
but like your day-to-day life. So like your routine. So you said you like to your time management.
Yeah.
So what's your routine then? Your typical daily
Like
routine.
a daily, what a day of
Yeah,
by
of like a
Mercy
work
looks
day, yeah.
A
Day of by Mercy.
A day of by Mercy. So wake up at 4:30. That's the time my alarm goes off. Get up. I'm Senora Life, so I make lunch for my husband so he can go. He's a truck driver. Make his lunch, and then he takes off at like 5:15. I get ready for the gym. I'm at the gym by like 5:45. Workout.
Dude, isn't it crazy like how many people at the gym at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
though?
like,
It's honestly,
insane.
I started going at 7 because it's
Because of that.
overwhelming at
No,
6.
I agree. Because I feel like now that I'm going at that time, I'm like, oh my God, do I need to come later? I feel like it's it's too much.
Because everybody goes to the gym at 6 who works at 8, I think.
Yes.
But not a lot of people go to work at 9 really.
Yes.
Or like, you know what I mean?
It's like an awkward time.
yeah,
kinda.
because
Yeah.
from 7 to 8, it's like
It's dead.
empty. Yeah. And
Empty.
you would think it wouldn't be because it's later, but like
Yes.
6 a.m. it's like beyond. Like I was in there, I was like, there's too many people
I've
in
gone
here.
during my lunchtime. My lunch is from 12 to 2, and it's hella packed.
Really?
You'd be surprised who goes on their lunch.
That's weird. Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you here on your lunch?
Oh,
I'm here
you're
on my lunch.
you're there on your
Yeah.
lunch and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
this is my thing. Why
Why are you here?
Really?
Yeah.
So you go to the gym,
So then I go to the gym. I work out for like a good hour and 15.
and how do you get your gym routine and everything? Or like, do you?
I started by stretching. I have to stretch.
Uh-huh.
If not, I feel it in my bones.
Mm-hmm.
So I stretch a good 15 to 20 minutes.
We're all getting older,
And not
man.
just like a 5-minute stretch. Like 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minute
20
stretch
minutes.
every day.
Every
Every day.
day.
Okay,
Every
that's
day.
good. That's good.
And I
for
work
you.
out. I
Yeah.
have a little routine down and I do that. And then I go straight into, so depending on my split week, I usually work out like if it's like back, then I'll do a full back. If it's like a glute day, I'll do a full glute day.
Mhm.
Just kind of like that. And then, so I'll work out that and then go home, go home, do breakfast, shower, get ready for work.
And what time do you work?
Clock in
every
at
day?
9:30.
9:30 every day.
So 9:30 is my first client. Do a couple clients, go on my lunch at 12. And I took a 2-hour lunch because I like to either catch up on errands or go to appointments or
Just have some free
just
or
have some
time
free
to
time.
do stuff.
Yes, I honestly grocery shop on my lunch sometimes too, or I even prep.
Do you live
dinner.
kind of close to?
I do. I live
so
5
that
minutes.
kind of
Yeah.
that real helps
Yeah.
too. So then you can
So I'll
kind
go
of.
home. I'll go home on my lunch. I prep for dinner because by the time I'm home, my husband's already home. So I like to something be prepped.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll prep dinner and then go back to work
So
at
what time
2.
you go on lunch? Like 11:30?
12 to 2.
12 to 2.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And then at 2 p.m. I'm back at work, and then I'm usually done with my last client by 6.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
by the time I clean up everything, I'm leaving the shop at 6:30,
Mhm.
and then go home, again, finish cooking dinner or have dinner with my husband, wrap it up, and then go to sleep.
You go early, or you go to sleep
Yeah,
early?
we go to sleep at 9.
Oh, yeah. Me and my
Yeah,
wife
we're
too.
early
It's like,
bird.
we're like,
We're like,
yeah.
you know.
Sometimes it's like,
Even when we go out, like on the weekends, we're like yawning. Or,
oh, dude.
and everybody's
yeah.
like, dude, it's 9. And we're like, yeah, I know, it's our bedtime.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
like we went to see the Felipe Esparza guy, and I
Oh,
fell
that guy's
asleep.
funny.
He was hella
huh?
funny.
Yeah, he's
But I
fucking
started falling
hilarious.
asleep, and it wasn't because I wasn't laughing or
Yeah.
anything like that. It was literally just because like I had a few drinks in me, and if I have a few drinks in me, and if it's like a movie theater, that
Yeah.
type of setting, I am just like.
You pass out. Yeah.
And then Lindsay's like, "We can go." I'm like, "No, I'm awake for this."
I'm laughing with my eyes closed.
I fell asleep again. But it was cool because actually I'd never been inside the Merced Theater.
It's nice, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
I've never been, but like we've been to just the eating. What is it? The little restaurant, Mainzer.
Mainzer, yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice.
Oh,
but I've
Mainzer's
never been
nice.
to an actual
Oh,
show.
so the other theater though, the big one
Oh,
with the
the big
tower.
one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that one
okay.
has like so it's like
It's not in there.
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like I mean they're both cinema type
okay.
deals. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But no, that one's kind of more like a like
This
a
is like
theater.
the older one, the more.
Yeah, the old
corner.
the big tower,
Okay,
the big
okay.
tower that
Yeah.
you see everywhere. But that one has like it's like cool because they redid it like I don't know how long ago, like I think
10.
maybe 10 years ago they redid it. But it's like super nice in there. But like it's like Steve-O's like we've actually had some bigger people there. Steve-O, who else went there? Didn't Ken Jeong or
Oh,
whatever?
I saw Ken Jeong there. Yeah.
He's like the Asian
He's
guy
really
from
funny.
Hangover.
Dr.
Oh,
Ken.
what?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was there?
Mr. Chow.
Yeah. So it's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Like you'd be surprised, and that's when I saw Felipe Esparza going there. I was like, what the hell? Like I was like, that's real cool.
What's up, fool?
Yeah, what's up, fool?
He's fucking funny.
Dude, it was so funny.
We got to see him in San Jose, and he was funny. There was this girl from San Diego that opened up for him. I don't know if she
Was it a
she
girl?
there? Was it a girl?
Like
I think
Gabby
so.
or something?
Yeah,
Gabby
she was from San
something.
Diego.
She was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, she
was
was
like
hilarious.
funny, huh?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
She was kind of dirty.
I liked
too.
her. Yeah.
She was like, yeah.
Did she come out in like pajamas, pants like on
She
yours
was
too?
just kind of like, like she looked.
Yeah, she
a
was
little
hella
raggedy.
funny, honestly, and that's kind of surprising. Like, 'cause everyone else is kind of like his genre
Yeah,
type. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? It was kind of like the Mexican American,
Yes, kinda
like
vibe, yeah.
exactly. And she was like a lot different, but she
Yeah.
was like
She was hella
she
funny.
was making me like die laughing. And then
we
even
we like really liked her.
because when he came back out, he was like, "Oh man, Gabby's talking about some crazy things." Yeah, but yeah, you got to go to the theater show. I say this, I went to my first one, but you should go to one of them. It's pretty cool. They need to have like more like even like local bands there and stuff.
Yeah, they
you know what I
should.
mean? Like just sell the bottom floor or whatever.
That would be really cool if they start bringing in like concerts like that.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I think
like
with
Gallo,
the UC,
like Gallo and Modesto does that, and I've been to one, and
exactly.
it's like a super cool experience.
Yeah, because my parents would go see like Boston or like all these other like old classic rock bands would always play there.
Yeah.
But I think with the UC and it's only getting Merced's only getting bigger. Like it's only a matter of time before we start seeing those. And because Fresno, it's like Fresno gets booked for all these
All that
big
stuff.
things. You know what I mean? Obviously, the State of Our Center is one thing, but they have like where we saw Bert. The Soroyan Theater.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. This podcast, last comedian that we really like.
Okay.
We had a business trip for it. We had a business field
A
trip,
business field
basically.
trip,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But
Figure out how to be funny.
The 101.
yeah. But it was really cool just going to like I've been to more this year I've been to more live shows than I have in like fucking forever.
Yeah.
And I think I used to like concerts and everything. I mean, I still do, but like the older I get, like it's like
It gives you low-key anxiety.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like and it's like a whole process. Like it's like unless it's like if it's in Fresno, it's kind of whatever. But
Yeah.
when you're staying somewhere, booking it, getting the Uber there, the worst part is getting an Uber after anything.
After.
It's
Yep.
like
It's like $50.
you might as well walk
down
like
the street.
10 blocks and then call
Yep.
an Uber because it's like too crazy. Because when we were in St.
It's like
Louis,
you have to do like a whole ass thing to.
yeah, exactly. Because we went to St. Louis and we were at did you go to the fireworks show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it was like crazy afterward. There was like I don't know how many people there. It was the biggest fireworks show I've ever seen, but it was like afterwards we waited like 45 minutes just to get an Uber.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
This podcast is brought to you by Creepy Kawaii, a locally owned art gallery located at 1742 Canal Street, right here in downtown Merced. Creepy Kawaii features art, spray paint, events, clothing, Asian import, snacks, and more. Now, you can go down to the shop, visit it, or you could go to her website, www.creepykawaiidesigns.com, or for more information, you can follow their Instagram. It's at Creepy Kawaii Designs. Patty runs Creepy Kawaii, you guys, and it's just such a cool thing. She always puts on for the art community. So please go out there, go check her out, and go support her. Thanks again, Patty. This podcast is brought to you by Lisa Haynes. She's a home loan specialist that helps you prepare to jump into one of the most exciting times of your life, becoming a home owner. Now, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, or you just want to see what you qualify for, you can reach out to her by her phone number at 209-769-1877. Once again, that's 209-769-1877, or follow her on Instagram at Coffee and Home Loans, at Coffee and Home Loans. Thanks again, Lisa. This podcast is brought to you by the Sisters of the Valley. Located right here in the heart of the Central Valley, these sisters make homegrown healing products from CBD. So they make CBD salves, they make CBD tinctures, CBD oils, and mushroom coffee. They believe that you need to heal your body the safe way, the way nature intended it. Now you can find their products at sistersofthevalley.org and follow them on Instagram at Sisters of the Valley. Once again, sistersofthevalley.org is where they sell their products, and you can follow them on Instagram at Sisters of the Valley.
And then what music you listen to?
I listen to a little bit of everything. Rock in Spanish. Love rock in Spanish. Hip hop. Listen to a lot of like regional mexicano, which is like, you
Like
know,
reggaetano or reggaeton?
not well, reggaeton, yes, but like more like Mexican bands.
Yeah.
Like
Mama machon, better man machon.
yeah, like
No,
all of that,
I
you
know what you mean, not that.
Like,
but
you know-
everyone I talk to knows
yeah,
that
it's like,
song.
yeah, knows that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean a lot of Mexican music. Yeah, so pretty much that. It depends also like my mood.
You like Tex-Mex or no?
Yeah, a little bit of Tex-Mex.
That's
yeah.
what my wife's family
Yeah, a
was,
little bit of Tex-Mex. But it just depends on my mood too.
Mhm.
Like at work, like in the mornings, I like to play a little bit more like softer, like rock in Spanish, and then I'll ump it up with like reggaeton, like the evening, you know, like after work. Then Saturdays, it's a little bit more beat. I also listen to a little bit of country because of my husband, but even though I lived in Texas for such a long
You
time, I think I
never-
just got like overwhelmed.
Were you like over it? You didn't, like,
Yeah, like it was like Texans are really like, okay, Texas is like their own country.
Yeah.
I love Texas though, don't get me wrong. But it's like their own country, and sometimes it like overwhelmed me. It was like too much Texas going on, you know. So I feel like that's why I kind of like came back, and I was like, oh, like I'm kind of over it. But no, I do miss it, and so I listen to a lot of country too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I enjoy country a lot.
But I listen, you'd be surprised. I listen to a little bit of everything.
I love Toby Keith, man.
Toby Keith, okay.
Yeah, that's my shit. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
Uh-huh.
It was the last song we played at our wedding,
Uh-huh.
and like it was just so ridiculous. I was like freaking balling out just singing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Aw.
And then me and my wife walked into Mo Bamba. You know Mo Bamba? I got hoes. Play Mo Bamba.
okay.
Calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are like a total vibe together. Like when she was like, because obviously like I conversate with
Yeah,
my brides, and I'm like, oh, like this, and I'm like, oh, I love like everything that you guys are gonna do. Like honestly, the whole bridal party was such a vibe too.
Yeah, well, he was part of the 12 guys.
Wow.
There was a lot of us.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a lot of us. But yeah, it was cool because it was just like, but like with those 12 guys, it was like, he was like the newest person I knew, him and Phil, or my buddy Phil, and like we've known each other now for like 10 years. You know what I mean?
Probably 12.
Yeah. So it's like, but it's like everybody else is like I knew when I was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then it was like my high school friends, and then it was like people I knew growing up, then junior high friends, and then high school friends, and then him and Phil, which are the oldest friends or newest friends, were 12 years. You know what I mean?
And your
Wow.
oldest friends.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and him and Phil are the oldest. Yeah, you're actually, it's a correct statement.
Keep it in.
Yeah. And then how big's your bridal party gonna be?
So my husband's having 6 groomsmen, and then I'll be having 6 bridesmaids.
6 bridesmaids.
Yeah.
You gotta
So not too big.
cut some of them. I'm just kidding.
Is that right? I'm like, I'm cutting all of y'all. No, just kidding.
Ugh.
No, Tony's a super huge like friend, kind of like you. Like
Yeah.
his friends have been with him since like kindergarten.
Yeah.
So I admire that. I love. Like I'm always like, I'm kind of jealous.
Well, a lot of people say that because like our group, some people are like, like a lot of people aren't friends with people when they were like
But
like
then
5,
I think about
6
it
years
too. Like
old.
it's like a female thing, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's like girls kind of
Yeah.
like they go through a lot of phases of friends.
And I do also feel like because I grew up with no sisters, I don't know. Like maybe I'm like so used to just being like myself, you
Mhm.
know. But I do have like most of the bridesmaids that I'll be having. I haven't even asked them their bridesmaids proposal, so I don't want to say.
Here we go on the podcast.
Right.
They're
On the
gonna-
podcast, guys. Do you want to be my bridesmaids? But it'll be like people that have been in my life for a long time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then sorry, where you getting married at again?
Fireball.
Oh, Fireball. Is
Yeah.
it like instead of venue out there?
It's a newer venue. It's
Uh-huh.
actually owned by some of Tony's also friend or guy he went to high school with. His parents owned it's in the state, so it's like a $1 million home.
Oh,
It's
that's so it's like
stunning.
yeah.
And so the owner actually grows for Gallo.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so he has like a winery. So it's like a home /
That's cool.
Yeah,
They have
winery.
like a probably whole little area
Yes,
for you
it's
guys to
called
get
Clinker
ready and
Brick
every
Estate.
area
Yeah.
ready to get.
Yeah.
I just mumbled. I was like, hard.
Yeah. So they have an area where actually will be their 3rd wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
So it's the
relative.
newest.
That's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So I'm excited to like. bring like new vendors to them. Like they met like my wedding planner, and obviously they'll be meeting like all our vendors, so that way they can kind of like get a feel of the whole like vendor idea.
That's pretty
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
Who's shooting your wedding? Do you have anybody yet?
His name is. Oh my God, Carlos Burgos Film from Fresno.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was just out of curiosity.
Out of curiosity.
I know. I like to know.
Yeah.
People
No, Carlos Burgos Film.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then who was about photo?
Photos is Brenda Mia Photography. She's from here from Merced.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's crazy because it's like you can be in a field and like it seems like, and you're in the same area, and it's like you crazy that like so many times it's like, oh, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
Oh, they're local too. Like
the
oh, I don't know this
networking
person.
and social media is like insane. Like I absolutely love it. You meet so many people, especially like in this industry, you get to meet so many different people. Like most of my vendors I've met through like bridal parties.
Well,
or
bridal
even
parties
my
are like
clients.
kind of cool because it's like you do one person's bridal party, somebody else in that bridal party is getting married, they're going to use you. Like, and then it's like a little chain
It just
reaction.
creates like a little
Yeah. And for me, it's like I like to do weddings, but it's like I don't want to solely be a wedding videographer per se. Just because for me, it's like weddings take like it's like an all day thing, but to me, it's like 2 months of editing in the back for me, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like I like to like obviously get them good quality work, but it's like to sit down and edit a wedding is not like in a day.
In a
you know,
day.
You know what I
You
mean?
have to take
It's
your
like
time.
people, and exactly, and it's like one of those things where you get paid like, or for me, I'm always like I take a small deposit, get paid the day of, because it's like I know that in 2 months I'll get like it takes me about 2 months to get people their wedding films, or that's what I tell them underneath, but. 6, 7 weddings a year, and I'm like, that's plenty. Yeah, and it's just kind of like even like one wedding a month would be cool, but I'm also like, I've been so busy doing commercial work, but real estate's it's like a turn and burn.
Okay.
For that's what I prefer in the sense of that. But if I could do commercial work all day, every day.
But that's cool that you're kind of like being realistic within yourself, you know?
Yeah. Well, I know.
So
I know what I like, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I enjoy it to a certain extent, but I could easily get burned off of it if I did it.
I agree.
Especially people who are doing like if I did 4 in a month, I would have so much anxiety about editing all that stuff. You know what I mean? And so generally, and then me and my buddy Jimmy, it's like we're each other's second shooters. So if he has a wedding, he just pays me for the day. If I have a wedding, I pay him for the day. And it's kind of like on those weddings, you're like, oh, I could appreciate this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I'm here chilling. Like,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And working with your friends is the best. So
Yes.
do you
Working
have
with
like.
people.
Yeah, do you kind of over
do the
the
same.
years?
Yeah,
you know what
like
I mean?
I grew like obviously like I met people at Mac, and then just like throughout like meeting people through doing other bride parties, like we'll meet, and then eventually we'll end up doing like another wedding together. So I've met actually a lot of friends through the industry, and just creating those like professional relationships with them. And then whenever, let's say I have like a big party and I need like another artist, then that's when I'll be like, hey, do you want to do this party with me?
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
it's really cool. Like you get to kind of bring them on and you give them work, and then vice versa. They'll give you a shout out, or they'll keep you in the back of their head whenever like
or if they're already booked.
Yeah, they'll be like,
exactly.
hey, can you do this? So I'm extremely thankful for that. Like the relationships I've built being in Merced in such a short time, it's been like I've definitely felt the support from Merced's community.
Well, and that's the thing too, that I think that a lot of people, when they get into whatever it is, like we're saying, like whether it's makeup or brows or photography, videography, whatever it may be, there's like a lot of people look at other people as competition, and it's like I think like since I've been like really been into it, it's like complete opposite. It's just like there's enough to go around for everybody.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're good, if you want to continually get better at it. It's like, and there's levels to everything too. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe you're starting out and you're charging whatever, like you can't maybe do like the ones where it's like higher up or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like you can work your way up to do those different things.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. And then are you like inspired by anybody? That's one of the questions that somebody asked. Like, who inspires her?
Who inspires me? Inspiration as far as like in the makeup industry, I've always looked up to this guy called Luis Torres Beauty on Instagram, which I've attended a couple of his master classes. I'll be attending a second. This will be my third master class I'll be attending.
Is it all online, or do you gotta go?
2 have been online, and then 1 has been in person, and then this will be another in person, and he'll be actually with Make Up My Ariel, which is Kylie Jenner's.
Oh,
makeup
wow.
artist. Yeah, so they're doing a masterclass in Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Are you going to go?
Yeah, I'll be going
That's
in
sick.
December.
Wow.
I'm so excited. He's freaking huge. I've been following him forever. I love everything that he stands for. When I met him in person, like, you know, you always like, I don't know if it's ever happened to you. Like you look up to somebody and then like you meet them
They're
and they're
douche
not.
or something
Yeah,
like
it's like
that.
you're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're like, dude, I don't.
It kind of
even-
ruins like your
it ruins your whole
everything.
Yeah. So when I met him, I was like not nervous, but I was like, I wonder how he's gonna be.
Please
right?
don't be.
So when he like starts talking, I'm just like, God, I love you so much. Like he just everything he stands for is so amazing.
he is who he is, kind
He's,
of like on
extremely
social media though.
humble.
You kind of
yeah,
like that's who he
extremely
is.
humble, super funny.
Go down, Duffy.
Are you talking about this guy or are you
Yeah.
talking about another
No,
guy?
it's him. Yeah, he's like phenomenal. Like he's so good at what he does. And he actually worked for Mac too. So I thought that was really
really?
cool.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
cool.
so he talked about his like Mac background. And I just love like his story is like kind of similar, not similar, but I can relate a lot to what his story is. And so he's one of my like inspirations for
That's
sure.
cool.
As far as makeup. Brows, I have a lot of brow people I look up to.
Mhm.
It's just like all on social media.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of people you follow.
But
and stuff.
I would say probably Kelly Baker Brows is probably like my inspiration when I started my business. Like that's who I like aspired to be when I first started doing
Mhm.
brows. And she's based out of LA. She does like all the Kardashians' eyebrows and just a bunch of like celebrities. But like to be at that level, like these people charge like $200 for eyebrows, like a brow wax.
Oh, I'm pretty. They charge more if they're doing
Probably
celebrities.
more. Yeah. So
I
it's,
bet
like,
you they're
really
like
cool.
doing stupid money, dude. I always think that too, and it's like it's one of those things. It's like they say you're not supposed to obviously like charge more for like just because someone makes more, you're not going to charge more.
Right.
But at a certain point, I feel like that changes. Like if they're if they're a freaking Kylie Jenner or whatever,
Yes.
you know what I mean? I'm like.
Yeah.
Like they should be paying $1,000 to get their brows done. You know what I mean? I mean, at least I feel like,
least.
you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, they probably get it for free and but somebody else or their business is probably paying to do it or
Yes.
whatever. What's Kylie's brand or whatever?
Kylie Cosmetics.
Oh,
I don't buy her stuff.
No, I don't do either. But I'm just like
I like her, but I don't buy her
yeah.
stuff. You're like, I don't either.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't
Yeah.
understand the Kardashians.
Yeah, the Kardashians are. I love how. I mean, their mom, Kris Jenner, man. Like, I want to be like her. She is a bad
She
bitch.
saw an opportunity and she took it.
And she's just like a manager. Like, she's a fucking genius.
yeah.
You know? And I
They're
feel
always like,
if-
Mom, shut up.
But if it
You're a
wasn't for
genius.
Kris, I don't think they would be where
Oh,
they're at.
no,
So
for sure not.
Yeah, so it's a whole controversy with them. But
Or Caitlyn, okay?
or Caitlyn. How about when she was trying to run for
Oh man! Oh,
Not
and then,
mayor,
and then no one and everyone just ignored the fact that
Governor?
governor? There you
everyone ignored the fact that remember she just ran somebody. Didn't she kill somebody?
go. Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
never knew about that.
Yeah.
Look, it's like she
Yeah.
like killed like she like
And
straight up
wasn't it-
killed somebody like
Yes.
in a car accident and like no repercussions.
Nobody-
at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's freaking crazy, man.
It's
What
probably
money does.
yeah. What happened in the car accident?
Was he Bruce Jenner at the time?
I think it was. Bruce
maybe
Jenner.
that's why.
I think it was Bruce Jenner. No, it wasn't.
I don't know. They're saying both, but this is kind of an
Maybe that's how he got or she. Oh, sorry. Well, that's how they got away with it.
Was Caitlyn Jenner used after killing somebody? How did I kill?
Literally killed someone 6 years ago in the streets and was released by a district attorney. I liked how the article said literally. Like, I guess it's probably more like a TMZ article. The Austin American-Statesman. This is a Texas.
Oh, someone did die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
In
it was-
a-
On
Prius.
impact in a Prius.
well, the one
Oh.
who died was an Alexis,
Oh,
which is
wow.
crazy because
And this was
they have pretty good crash
yeah,
ratings.
crash test ratings. Lexus is like, why couldn't it be the Prius? Man, was this a Texas? Is this a Texas newspaper? Austin American-Statesman.
Oh, it must be.
yeah.
it must
No,
be.
it's just a funny. Like that's totally a Texas name for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But you said Texas is like its own country. I feel like California's the same thing though. Like
You think so?
I mean Texas is a little more.
Have you
they
ever
have their no, I've never been, but Texas is a little more. I know what you mean. Like
Have you been to Texas?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
they're
No, it's like extreme. No, California's nothing like it.
like, what I'm
so
saying
sorry.
is that I think we're completely fine if we just annex ourselves from the rest of the United States. I would be
States.
fine with
Yeah.
California as a country. That's all I mean by
No,
that.
it's like crazy.
No,
like when
Texas
I moved, it
thinks
was
they're
a
their own
culture
country.
shock. I was like, "What is this?" Like, and then now I look back and I love it. Like I miss that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Texas is
Are they a lot friendlier over there though?
extremely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're just like all about their morals and they're huge into just like be nice and obviously they're like very Christian
Mhm.
and even like they like have their own like, you know how we do like Pledge of Allegiance? Like they have their own
Oh,
Texas.
really?
Like, yeah.
The
And
Texas
they learn
Pledge?
all about Texas history. Like I'm telling you.
Oh,
It's like a
wow.
whole.
Texas proud, kind of like. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Every Texas house you see, they have the Texas star. Like, or flag or something.
Yeah.
They're all Cowboys fans.
Yeah. They're good right now, actually.
I heard they're doing good, huh? So I watch a lot of football, but I heard.
Or I guess they're 4-2 now, but
so, yeah.
they're doing real good. Well, by the time this comes out, I don't know what the record is, but people are like, "What are you talking about?" That's funny. And then so let people. So how can people see what you're doing? Like, where can they follow you at?
So mostly all just my Instagram by Mercy is really where I post mostly.
Was it underscore or is it underscore?
It's __ by Mercy.
But I'm sure if you just type in by Mercy.
Just by Mercy, it'll come up.
But by Mercy's taking? Somebody already took that?
Yeah, somebody took just by Mercy. I was so upset.
Do you ever go and see like who it is?
Yes.
That took, and like they're not even using their account or
I
something?
usually ask them, like I'll DM them and I'm like, I know you're not like active. Can I have it? And then they'll like, sometimes they'll respond and they'll say no, or sometimes.
No, it's mine.
Yeah, sometimes they'll respond and they'll say like, or they won't even respond, you know. So I tried, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, so
it's fine.
Yeah, okay, so they can contact you or they can see what you're up to that way, kind of follow you.
Stories, everything. I don't really have any other social media, but like I have Facebook for just personal things, but I don't have any other social media. Like no Twitter, no Snapchat, none of that. I just have Instagram.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, Mercy, thank you for coming on. I had a
Thank you
great
for having me.
conversation with you. We're going to get our promo going, so I'll kind of explain that to you and everything else. But cheers.
Cheers.
I appreciate you
thanks for
coming
having
on.
me.
Of course,
Yes.
I had to get some girls in the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, my wife recommended it, but I
Yes.
had a great conversation with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Let's take a walk outside my limits, find the skyline. It's been a while since I've seen the grass this tall. A fake smile, hazy horizon, blurry photo. It takes a while for my leaves to fall, for me to drop my walls. I'm wandering on the edge of the veins of the valley side. It's been a while since the water rose this high. I'm wondering if we're stuck in the wave of the summertime. I'm curious if you see me in this light, because the sun went down before I left my house today. And I might get cold easy, you might get over me, 'cause I'm just a breeze, I'm just a breeze, I'm just a breeze. I take the back roads to get to your town, thinking how I could be a sad joke. You can't wait to tell. No, and I don't want you to see me cry, so I pretend to believe every lie. You see me smile, but I'm drowning in denial inside. So maybe on the weekends we don't talk at all. Where does the highway take us after the fall? Oh, and suddenly I feel the need to reevaluate our mysteries. The concept of following through is where you lost me. I caught myself following you too far, too dark for me. Doesn't matter if I'm lost or if I'm free.
This is it. Real talk and whatnot.